Tips for effective public speaking. 1. 10 tips for effective public speaking. 2. Common public speaking mistakes. 3. Visual aids. 4. Stay calm by managing anxiety. 5. Having fun and using humor. If you find yourself dreading that upcoming tutorial presentation, you're definitely not alone. Public speaking doesn't have to be anxiety-provoking, and believe it or not, it can even be fun. Take a look at the tips help ease your mind about your next presentation. Why is it important to be an effective public speaker? Feeling confident speaking in front of a group can be important in your education, personal, and professional lives. Public speaking is required for many academic courses. Almost every career requires public speaking. To communicate successfully and be persuasive, it is important to feel confident while public speaking. In this presentation, you will find tips for effective public speaking. 10 tips for effective public speaking. 1. Know your material. Choose a topic about which you feel knowledgeable and have an interest. The more you know, the easier it is to talk and the less likely you are to forget what to say. If you can't choose your speech topic, then be very familiar with the material and know more about the subject than you include in your speech. 2. Good eye contact. Don't read directly from your notes. Try to practice a slow, natural gaze around the room as you speak. Try not to focus on each person's expression because it might distract you or throw you off. 3. Stay calm. Attempt to transform nervous energy into enthusiasm. Take a deep breath and smile before you begin. 4. Practice. Try and practice your speech in front of an audience. Remember that practice builds confidence. So practice, practice, practice. 5. Don't apologize. You may feel very nervous, but most likely the audience doesn't even notice. Don't draw attention to your anxiety. Just take a deep breath and keep going. 6. Appearance and wardrobe. Wear something appropriate you feel comfortable wearing. You don't want the extra stress of worrying about your appearance during the speech. 7. Confidence. Stand tall and speak clear. Even if you have a great speech, you can lose your audience if you mumble or talk too quietly. Think of the saying, fake it till you make it. The more you pretend to feel confident, the more natural it will become. 8. Organization. Make sure to arrive early, and if possible, practice to make sure everything needed for the speech is working. If visual aids are needed for the speech, have a backup option in the case of a technical issue preventing you from using them as planned. 9. Know your audience. Be familiar with your audience and make your speech as appealing to that population as possible. It is better to get to know the kind of audience you will be having beforehand. 10. Personal experience. Use personal experiences when possible and appropriate. A personal experience is easy to talk about, and most audiences enjoy a relevant, brief personal story. Common public speaking mistakes. 1. Weak start. Start strong, with an interesting quote or statistic to get the immediate attention of your audience. 2. Reading a speech. When you are too focused on your notes, you may lose your audience. It is good practice to glance through your note briefly and make brief eye contact with your audience. 3. Apologetic stumble. If you lose your place or stumble with your speech, take a deep breath. Your audience most likely never noticed the mistake. 4. Rate and range of speech. It is common to speed up our rate of speech when feeling anxious and use pauses throughout your speech. Make the speech interesting with a range in your voice. Speak with passion and emphasize important sections to keep the audience interested. It is very difficult to follow a speech when it is given at a slow, monotone pace or so fast that it is hard to process the material. 5. Lack of preparation. Confidence comes from practice and preparation. Nobody wants to watch a person fumble through a speech, making up material as they go. Visual aids. 1. Always have a backup. Be prepared to deliver your speech without your visual aid if a technical difficulty occurs. 2. Keep them simple. Too much information distracts audience from the speaker. 3. Large and visible. Make sure the text is large enough for all to read and choose colors that make the text stand out. 4. Don't read the slides word for word. This is the same as reading a speech from note cards. 5. Use bullet points when possible. Think of visual aids as an outline to highlight important facts rather than lengthy sentences. Stay calm by managing anxiety. 1. Practice. Nothing can beat being prepared for your speech. The more comfortable you are with your speech, the better you will do. 2. Avoid caffeine. The morning of your speech, opt for decaffeinated coffee or herbal tea. Caffeine can make it more difficult to stay calm. 3. Stay positive. Pay attention to your self-talk days in advance, and as you prepare, notice the positive aspects of your preparation and what you are doing well. 4. Be aware. Take time each day to notice your anxiety level and start practicing deep breathing to reduce anxiety. Take slow, very deep breaths just prior to taking your place at the podium. This relaxes your body, helping to clear your mind. 5. Challenge negative thoughts. We all, at times, have negative thoughts about negative events that could happen. It is important to recognize these thoughts and challenge them with evidence of success from the past. Having fun and using humor. 1. Safety first. Use your best judgment and humor when telling a joke or using humor, so people are not offended. The safest joke is one about yourself. 2. Have fun with stories. If possible, think of a funny story within your own life that is relevant to the message of your speech. 3. Comfort. The more comfortable you feel giving a speech, the easier it will be to incorporate humor. 4. Have fun. When possible, choose a topic that you enjoy and be creative with the material and presentation. 5. Gestures. Make the most out of your body language and facial expressions during your speech. They can be very humorous when used appropriately. Also, remember not to take yourself too seriously. Reminders: audiences are incredibly forgiving. Focus on the content and the message you want the audience to receive rather than your internal experience. Practice, practice, practice. Have fun.